Welcome to Southern Wreaths, formerly Crafting with Lee. As you can see, I changed my business name. Today I'm going to be making this really pretty flamingo wreath. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath. I'm using 3 different 10-inch meshes and a 21-inch mesh. I'm going to start by adding pipe cleaners to my wire wreath form. This is a 14-inch wire wreath form. I'm going to add 1 at each crossbar on the center, and I'm twisting it 3 times as tightly as I can get it. And then for the outside, I'm going to pick a crossbar to start, and I twist it 3 times tightly. And then I'm going to lay it across the wire, and where it ends is where I add my next pipe cleaner. This should line up pretty well. The last one should be pretty close to the beginning. If not, it's not a huge deal. I usually fit 14 on a 14-inch wreath form. And I'm just going to start by adding my 21-inch mesh. I'm going to gather the end of it and stick it through a place where the pipe cleaner is just to the left of a crossbar. This just makes it easier when I come around. I end where I began. And I'm just going to trim it away, and I'd secure it with a zip tie. I'm going to do poofs on the bottom. I'm doing very small poofs. I'm not measuring them. They're probably 8 to 10 inches, maybe. I'm only putting them down because I needed some bulk on the bottom. I wanted this wreath to be kind of thick. I only do this when you can't really see the poofs when the wreath is done, and you definitely do not see any white when I'm done with this wreath. It just adds some thickness, and it also helps to not be able to see the bars when you're done. Alright, once I get a poof in every section, I'm going to take the excess and push it through to the back. I used half of a roll, so if you use a whole roll, you would just trim it off and then just push it to the back. And since I ended where I began, I can use the same crossbar and attach it with a zip tie. And once I get it secured, I'm going to use my wire cutters, and it breaks my zip tie, but it also gets it on there pretty tight because I kind of pull while I'm cutting it off. And then I just trim away the excess mesh. This is a good way to stretch your mesh if you just have a lot of stuff to add on top, but you need a filler. This cheap white stuff is perfect. Alright, with my 10-inch mesh, I have them all stacked together, and I just cut a nice flush start, and I'm going to cut these at 20 inches. I don't like to cut them on number 1 because I press too hard into the mat and it leaves lines eventually. So I kind of try to move around. This time I'm cutting on the number 3. I'm going to cut 14 of these, so I need 3 pieces of mesh for each section. This is the easiest way for me to cut it. You can cut it any way that makes sense to you. Alright, this is the really pretty teal. I fell in love with this. I did get this mesh at Hobby Lobby, so it's pretty flimsy. I didn't want to wait to order anything, and I really loved the colors, so I just went with it. And I'm just going to gather it together accordion style, and I'm using my bow dabra to hold it while I do my other ruffles. I'm going to do 1 of each color inside each pipe cleaner, and I just do a pattern. So the first time there's teal on the bottom, then the light pink, then the hot pink, and then I move the hot pink to the bottom and just keep going. The reason I cut this mesh at 20 inches is because it's so thin and so flimsy that it needs that much just to fill up that section. With the thicker mesh, you don't have to cut it that big. You could probably get away with 10 inches. So there would be a total of 30 inches in each tie. But this mesh is super thin. So just keep that in mind when you're buying stuff and where you're buying it from. Alright, now see how easy it is? It's all together, and I have my center. So I just open up my tie. And I'm just going to shove it in there and then tighten it as tight as I can do it with my fingers. I do find after a little while my finger starts to get sore. So just be careful. Don't get like a rug burn. It's kind of what it feels like. I'm only twisting once because I'm going to add ribbon. Now I'm going to show you in fast speed me just making another bundle. I really like these colors together. I know this teal isn't very flamingo-y, but once I found the flamingo ribbon, then I found the flower ribbon to go with it, and it had the green in it, which led to the stripe ribbon, which led to the sheer teal ribbon, and that's my thought process with that. This is what it looks like when it's all done, and I think it's so beautiful. And like I said before, you cannot see any of the white. It's just something to make it thicker. Right now I'm going to cut my ribbons. I have 4 different ribbons, and I'm just using my ruler, and I'm just twisting it around. I'm going to need 7 of each ribbon, and then I just trim it off. This is the easiest way for me to cut ribbon. I know they have that machine thing. It's not a machine. It's like a ribbon helper. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure that's very nice too. This is just my way of doing it without spending money. All right, I'm going to go through and cut all of the ribbon. I need 7 of each, and then I'm going to dovetail the ends. And I went ahead and stacked them the way I want them on my wreath, just because it makes it easier. And I just fold it in half to find the center and then pinch it together. And I'm going to open my tie and add the ribbon, and then I'm going to be done. I'll twist it 3 times. And I like to use a glue stick to roll down the pipe cleaners just because I think it looks nice. And then I'll just fluff my ribbon. I like to do it at an X, but you could make it where, the flamingos are both up or both down. It's completely what you like. And I like to add my ribbon in different ways. Sometimes I open my ties and add it, and sometimes I don't. And the difference it makes is if you open your tie and add the ribbon, it kind of sinks the ribbon into the wreath. And if you do it on top without opening the tie, it just brings it up higher. So if you have like a really pretty ribbon that you want to display, or you want your wreath to be mainly ribbon, like all you see is ribbon, then that's how you would do it. You would put it on top. It just makes a difference in how prominent the ribbon is. With this, I wanted the mesh and the ribbon to show. And I do cut almost all of my ribbon at 12 inches. The only time I do it different is if I'm doing a smaller wreath. Right, now I'm going to show you how I do my last one. Something I've found with doing the outside layer is sometimes I have to use my finger to hold the wire frame in place, just because when I'm pushing the ribbon in, it likes to slide away. And if you're doing this as I'm showing you, you just hold it as you're pushing it in there. I don't know if that would be helpful, instead of like pushing the wreath across the table. And I really love the way this turned out. You could leave it exactly like it is and it would be beautiful. But the reason I did this wreath is because of the sign I found. I loved it. I thought it was so cute. I wasn't sure if I was going to add a bow yet, and I wasn't sure exactly where to put my sign. I thought I was going to put it at the top, but I ended up changing my mind. Now I'm just going to use a staple gun. I'm just making sure it doesn't go all the way through. And I'm going to add 2 pipe cleaners, one at the top and one at the bottom, to secure it to the wire frame. And I just like to twist it a couple times. Now I'm just holding it up to see which part's the prettiest, so I know where to put my sign. And as you can see, I added it to the top, and I did not like that at all. I hated the way it looked. So I'm just going to go to the back and undo my pipe cleaners and move it down. That's why it's nice to wait until the end to secure everything, so you don't have to completely undo everything you did until you're happy. Like, you won't secure it until you're happy with it. So I just pushed it down, and then since I've got the pipe cleaners there, I'll just add them to the top. And I didn't like the way it looked, so I looked at it, and then I'm twisting again. You don't want to pull too tight on the pipe cleaners because it'll smush your sign into your wreath, unless that's what you want to do, which is fine. But I wanted this sign to sit on top. And then with the bottom, I just made my way through the mesh until I found the frame. And then I'm doing the same thing, twisting it. And just make sure you pull your ribbon out from your sign. You don't want to lose all that. And then that's it. That's how I made my flamingo wreath. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. Thank you so much for watching. And if you liked my video or you learned anything, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.